I'm Lauren Whitehurst. I'm a certified personal trainer and certified nutrition coach.
Hi, I'm Sunny Lippincott. I'm a certified professional life coach and a certified brain health professional. And together we make
Whole Life Vitality. We teach whole life vitality of the mind, body, and soul, bringing the physical, emotional, and spiritual together for whole life wellness. Welcome back, friends.
Welcome.
We have come to you today with an interesting subject matter. If you follow us closely, you probably realize that there was a week recently that we didn't put out a podcast.
Yeah.
And that's because we got hit with some sad news over here at Whole Life Vitality. A good friend of ours passed away.
Yes.
And we wanted to take a minute to just kind of share about him and what he meant to us and what we have been through these last couple of weeks. So Sunny, very close friend of hers.
Yes.
I knew him, but he was almost like family to you.
Yeah. And we really do pride on ourselves on being fully transparent with you guys. Mm-hmm. And I loved that Lauren had mentioned talking about this because it's been a really difficult couple of weeks.
It's
for
been
us.
hard, yeah.
This happened 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And instead of just pressing pause and then starting back up and pretending like
Nothing happened.
Yeah. Instead, we thought we should talk about this because we're all, if you haven't yet, you're going to experience loss at some time or another. And if you have, it's so, it can be so comforting to hear how other people are coping and what they're feeling and what they're experiencing. And there's just an understanding there that really does help you feel seen.
Yeah.
So my friend Michael, we met Michael, I can't even remember when it was. I think it was through Upwards, and Upwards is a program where young children can go and learn sports in a really uplifting and encouraging environment.
Yeah,
and
very inclusive. And my son started there as well with basketball, and it was great.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love that program.
When they're little, it's wonderful because everyone gets a turn to play.
Yes.
And they don't keep score, which kind of drives some people crazy, but it's great for little ones who are just kind of learning.
Yeah, they teach them the sport. So you can do, I think they have football and basketball and cheerleading and things like that. So me and my husband played basketball. And we always knew that if our children were interested in sports, we would really like them to try basketball. So we put Aiden in, Upwards when she was, I think 5. This is the first year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Michael and Tracy are friends. They have a daughter, Hayes, who is a year behind Aiden. So I think you can start in like kindergarten or something. So Aiden had moved up to 6 and Hayes came in at 5. And so they ended up being on the same team and Michael coached them. And Michael he was an incredible athlete and loved sports, but especially loved basketball, and wanted his daughter to play as well. So he had this idea that Aiden and Hayes would play together because they go to the same school, would play together. And then by the time they were in high school, they would be just like this dynamic duo. So that's really what happened.
That's what I was going to say. That is 100% what happened.
He started coaching them and then got them into some AAU, teams as they grew older. And when they finally got old enough at their school to play, it just thrilled his soul.
Yeah.
So we got very close to them. His wife is a teacher at the school as well. And so really like our best friends. We went on vacation together and everything. They just have Hayes, but really like a second dad for my daughter. So this was unexpected. It was a heart attack. So it was unexpected. He is their coach now, or was their coach now in basketball.
And has been. Since Upward.
Since Upward. So he coaches at the high school.
And now they're a junior and a sophomore.
Yeah,
So
a junior and a sophomore.
this has been, 11 years of coaching these girls.
Yeah. So they're in their basketball season when this happened. Very unexpected. He was 49, so very young. And he was the athletic director for the school for 20 years. So this was his passion, teaching kids the sport that he loved, and then teaching them about, Christ and what his faith meant to him was everything to Michael. And that was truly his purpose. So he loved what he did, and he did what he loved, truly. And that's just something that I think is a gift to everyone.
I completely agree.
That, if you're in a place where what you're doing, and it doesn't even have to be your career, but if you're not doing something in your life that feels purposeful for you, then, really take this time to evaluate what are your gifts and your talents and your strengths, and what do you love to do? And odds are God has given you that for a reason. And God did. He gave that to Michael for a reason.
And Michael was so good at pulling that out of people. He would see potential in these students and say, you can do this.
Yes.
And I watched girl after girl say, oh, I couldn't. I don't know if I could do that. No, you can do this. I know you can. Just come try.
Right. Just come try.
And then they would fall in love with him, with coaching, with the sport, with the team, and just this camaraderie that he included them in was amazing.
It was amazing. It was really, he had a gift for it, for sure. He had a gift for it. And so even at his funeral, there were 1,000 people.
At
this
standing
funeral.
room only. It was at a Coliseum, and there was standing room only.
And it was just full of people and conversations about how, what an impact he made on their life, and even missions.
Yep.
He thought he was going into missions. That was what his plan was for his life, was to be a missionary. And
What's
then,
that saying? We make plans and God laughs.
Yeah. Truly. And this became his mission. And this position came open at the school, and God said, no, this is what you're supposed to do.
Well, and he was in his 21st season, right? 21st year. And so you think of all of the children that have come through that school and that he impacted over the course of almost 21 years.
Yeah.
That is just mind-blowing. We've only been at that school for 2 years now. And just in that short period of time, how much he has impacted us.
Right.
Myself, my children, and just getting to know him was...
It was a blessing.
It was a blessing.
It was a blessing.
Yeah.
And so when you are, when you experience a loss like this, and loss it's a beast. Anyway, it's a beast. Whether you know it's coming, whether you have someone that is sick.
Yeah.
I had a grandfather that passed away from dementia years back, and his dementia started 7 years before he passed. And so we knew it was coming, and it still hurt.
Yeah.
Like when he passed. But there's something about losing someone that's there 1 minute.
It just feels so abrupt.
And then it's just so abrupt.
Yeah.
And so it really threw the girls on the basketball team.
Yeah.
It threw the students, because he was a teacher there as well. It threw his family, his parents, his wife, his friends, everyone involved. It really threw us all for a loop.
Every single day at drop-off, in that right there at that front door, he's the face that every single middle schooler and high schooler saw first thing every morning.
Yes, he has to fist bump the kids before they walk through the door.
Every morning. And he was not a bright sunshine, rainbow, smiley guy. He's an intense individual.
Yeah.
But that passion that
kids.
he had, you could just feel it.
Yeah.
Just palpable. And so it was almost funny to watch this kind of like stern-faced man fist bumping all these kids as he's coming into school.
And that he took that job very seriously. He didn't want anyone else to do it. That was his. But that was hard. And so life for me and even, for Lauren, and she didn't know him for long, but he made an impact on her life as well.
Was devastated when I heard even that he wasn't well.
Right.
And then I was on a walk. I was supposed to be doing school and couldn't focus on my studies and went out for a walk. And when you messaged me and told me the news, I was maybe like 2 miles from home, and I had my dog with me, and I had on a long sleeve shirt, and I was a sobbing, blubbering mess.
Yeah.
And by the time I got home, and this is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever done. You ready for this? I had used my sleeves as tissues and then rolled them up.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was snotty and
Right.
crying and just a mess. And that was with me only knowing him for 2 years.
2 years.
For 2 years. And the impact he had on us in that short period of time is just so profound, because that is the impact he had on everyone he met.
Yeah. And it's amazing because, we are in the mental health field, being a certified professional life coach and a, brain health professional, and then Lauren being a nutritionist and a health coach. And we do this for every day. We talk about mental health. We live
mental
mindset
health as our life.
And I will be honest with you, with grief, all of that, like you are aware, okay? You're aware of what you need.
Yep.
But with grief, it was like I pressed pause on life for a while. For these 2 weeks, it has been very difficult for me to get up and do a morning routine, to take the walk that I need to walk, to remember to eat.
And this is a morning routine that you have done consistently for 5 years.
For 5 years.
So this
5+ years.
This isn't something you were trying to implement.
No.
This is something that is habitual at this
Yeah.
point. This is just part of your life. And that's what grief does, though.
Oh, yes.
And it just kind of takes everything that you know and shakes it up.
Yeah.
And I say it breaks you. Like there's like a tear,
Yeah.
and you think about a tear. And when you go to sew a tear back together, you take the thread and you go in one side and then pull it all the way through and out the other side. And there's that moment of healing when you go in and it pulls it together, and then you feel that gaping hole that's left.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what grief is.
It's-
because you feel it, that
Exactly.
healing. You're like, okay, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get better. And then that gaping hole is still there.
Oh, yeah.
And you feel it so deeply, but you're slowly being knit back together. And I think that up and down or side to side movement, healing's not linear. That up and down of the weaving of yourself back together is really a good way to look at it, because there will be ups and downs indefinitely.
Right.
Really.
My friend, I was talking to her about it, and she has experienced loss as well. She lost her mother, and she said, we think that the grief gets smaller. She said, but actually the grief stays the same. She said it's just like the world continues to grow around us.
Yeah.
And that's really, like she said, you can liken it to almost like a ball in a jar. The ball doesn't get smaller, but it's just like we just keep putting it in a larger jar.
We just
and
grow.
so we grow. We grow around, our environment. And that's very true. I needed that time. I needed to not push myself to do work. Anything. I needed to not listen to that voice that said, you've got to crank these podcasts out, and you got to make reels, and you've got to do posts, and you've got to make these appointments. I had to listen to the part that said, you know what, you need rest and you need to cry. And I did. I allowed myself to cry, and I need you to know that that's okay. Because there are lots of people that apologize for crying and that try to stop it.
Yeah. Just let it out.
And you have to face grief. You have to walk through it. You can't start the race and then stop and go back to the starting line again. You're never going to get through it unless you continue. And that means that you got to feel things that hurt, that really, really hurt, that break you. And I cried a lot. I cried in the shower. I'd be okay and force myself to take a shower, because even something like getting a shower and washing my hair felt so difficult. I didn't want to do it. And so I would cry in the shower, and I would just have to. And I'd cry in the car, and I just have to. And so many people, and me and Lauren were so good for each other with this, would say, it's okay.
Yeah. We're just going to be sad for a little bit, and that's okay. And it's better out than in, because when you hold it in and you tell yourself it's not okay, and you bury it down and bury it down, then what happens is you slowly build walls between you and anyone else, because you think this hurts so badly and I don't know how to exist in this pain. So I'm just not going to be close to anyone ever again. When I lost my sister, the thought that hit me so like a smack in the face was, I don't know how to exist in this world where she doesn't exist. Right. It's like everything changed. Like the whole world changed. Like the color of things were different. Like the filter on life was different, and
that's so true.
And just learning how to exist in, like, you change the TV channel and now everything's in sepia, and you can learn how to exist in a world where everything has that different filter on it, but it takes some getting used to.
It does.
And it's really uncomfortable in the process. And you might still remember when you had the other filter and that things were a little easier or different or whatever. And feeling that loss, feeling that grief, it's just part of the process.
It's part of the process. And understanding that you're not going to exist in the same world that you were before.
Yeah.
You can't.
And you never will again.
And you can't go back to that. You have to learn how to exist in where you're at now.
Yeah.
And stop trying to fight to get back to how you felt before.
Right.
And
can't go back.
You can't. And even realizing we kept playing the games because the girls decided, and Hayes too, because Hayes is on the team, I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
But understanding that it's not the same team now. Yeah. And it's not going to look the same, and it's not going to feel the same without him there. And it's okay. We're not trying to get back to how it was when he was there. It's understanding and appreciating what he left for us and what he taught, but existing in the world that he set up for us. Yeah. In that space that he set up for us, and the things that he taught you, and utilizing from there, that the coaching's not going to be the same because it's not him.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere is not going to be the same because it wasn't him. And even the girls, you're going to play differently.
Yeah.
Because you're not playing for him. But that's okay, and it's going to feel different, and you're going to feel different. And we all do. Me and my husband, they were best friends, and my husband feels different.
Yeah.
And I feel different.
Don't ever leave me, Sonny.
Yeah. Yeah, really. It doesn't mean that, that you're just ignoring it. It means that you understand that what you had was special.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have that again. You will smile. You will. You will quit crying at some point.
It comes and goes.
It comes and goes. Goodbye is not a one and done. You say goodbye over and over again.
Yeah.
With memories.
Yeah.
There, even with now, like even the tournament that we were in this past weekend, it was like saying goodbye again.
Yeah.
Watching these tournaments.
Watching those girls play that first game after he passed, it was so powerful.
Yeah.
That game, it was so powerful. These girls, they harnessed an intensity inside them that honestly, I don't think I've ever seen them play with before.
Yeah.
it was next level. It was one of those moments in a movie where a team comes back from, something horrible happening and they just blow it out. And that wasn't them forever. They didn't win every game from then on.
No, Hayes had her career high point
That night.
game after
Yes.
his passing, but then the next game we lost and we didn't have that. And that's okay.
Yep.
Because that's really the journey with grief, is you're going to have the highs and you're going to have the lows. And I just wanted to get across that you will do a lot of should-haves, like you will should-have all over yourself when you have grief. Like I should be feeling better. I should get up and do my work, and I should do this, and I should,
Or if I had enough faith, or if I had enough trust, maybe I wouldn't be so sad. Maybe I could just give it all to God and not be sad anymore. But there is a season. We were told in the Bible, there is a season to laugh and there is a season to cry. And it is okay to grieve the people that you've lost and the seasons that you've already passed. It's okay to grieve those.
Don't put a time frame on yourself. Like that's truly, even me knowing what I know and doing what I do, I still needed people in my life to tell me it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be struggling right now. It's okay that you are in bed today. It's okay. Yeah. So don't shove all over yourself. Don't put a time frame on yourself. Reach out to people. Talk through it. Sometimes you are going to want to be quiet and go, internal, and that's okay. But you do need to express what you're feeling, with those that you love. Don't keep that all in. Talk about them. Talk about your friendship with them, and what you had and
what you learned and what you're going to continue to carry. I think that's all that you can leave in this world, right? Are those the memories and the things that you learned and the things that you shared with other people. That's what you get to leave.
Yes. Don't should have on yourself. And also, if I could give you another piece of advice, is when someone experiences loss, be very kind and respectful to them, because I think before this happened, I could hear of someone passing and I'd just be like, oh, I'm sorry. Their world has just shattered. Their world will never be the same.
Yep.
So truly, when you say to that person, I'm praying for you, stop what you're doing right there and then and pray for them. Don't use that as that Band-Aid statement that you just say to someone when you're like appreciating their sadness. Truly take the time to pray for them. Take the time to reach out to them. Take the time to ask if there's something that you can do for them. Whether it's just, offering an ear, a shoulder, a hug. If you can maybe make dinner for them, if you can, if there's something that you can do, is there an errand that I can run for you? Is there something that you have? Is there a gift or talent that they might need that you can offer to them? But truly, when you hear of someone that has experienced loss, take the time to really understand that their world has just changed. And really be sensitive and sympathetic and empathetic towards that for them. Because I know that from here on out, that is what I am going to do for them, because so many people have done that for me. And it's really why I'm able to sit here right now and continue to do what I'm doing 2 weeks after saying goodbye to my friend.
Really, 2 weeks is a very short
time
frame.
And it's
you're not better. Everything isn't wonderful.
No, everything is not wonderful. I still cry. I it's traumatic. It is traumatic. And so I know that I want to do that for others.
Yeah.
You know, what people have done for me and how they've shown love and care and concern for me, and even, you know, my friend Tracy, how others have reached out for her as well. Just, God doesn't waste. Okay. God never uses, never wastes anything that we're going through. He's going to use it all. So when you hear of that happening, you know, really take the time to be with them, pray with them, and show love to them, because they need it.
When I lost my sister, I got flowers from Sweet Friends. They sent me flowers, and it was very sweet, and I felt loved. But what was even more amazing than that is a year later, this sweet friend had, I guess, set a reminder in her own calendar to send me a card, just saying, I just want you to know, I know it takes a long time, and I'm still here for you.
Oh.
And it just meant so much.
That's amazing.
A year later, getting that card in the mail, and I was like, someone else realizes that this thing that I told social media about, and everyone was like, oh, I'm so sorry, is still real for me.
Right.
A year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, it's still real for me. And the whole rest of the world feels like they moved on.
Yeah.
But that's still my world. That's
Yes.
still the world I live in. And having someone acknowledge that was just really amazing for me.
Yeah. It made you feel seen.
Mm-hmm.
It made you feel seen.
Yeah.
So if you can, just help them feel seen, you know, and understood and cared for and prayed for. And if you say you're going to do it, stop right there and do it. And it will mean more to them than you can ever understand.
Anything.
Than
really.
anything. Because I know that the reason that we're sitting here talking right now is because people have prayed for us. And it's the greatest gift. It's just the greatest gift.
Take some time today and love on your people.
Yes.
Just give them some loves. Let them know that you're thinking about them. Let them know. Embrace the moment. Let them know that you're there and that you want to be there for them. And if you don't feel loved or you don't have people, please reach out, because we would love to pray for you.
Absolutely.
Because people love you.
Yes.
Even if you don't feel it.
Absolutely.
People love you. If you feel like you don't have a great relationship or relationships to build on right now, Sunny, our amazing mindset coach, wrote a phenomenal ebook about respect and relationships to really help cultivate those relationships that you are hoping to build, or maybe to get yourself ready to be in a relationship that you can cultivate. And you can find that in the link below. So make sure that you check that out. As always, please like and subscribe. Maybe this isn't a great one to like, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. But
follow along, because
understanding.
We're here for all of it.
Understanding is love.
Yeah. The good, the bad, and the ugly, right? We're here for all of it. So if you are in a rough place right now and you need to talk, then please reach out. We are here for you. And thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks so much for being here.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you next time.